Hey guys, Roger and Jay back again for episode number 4.
Bam.
We've divided this podcast now into some different segments to make it easier to follow.
Yep.
So we're going to start off with RP recommends. Roger and Pace recommends.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about hot ones.
I'm going to talk about an app podcast that I'm listening to.
Yes, and then we're going to go into the weekly Lowdown, which is our kind of news, current and bizarre segment where current news here is bushfires, which I'll talk about for New South Wales
and a
Australia.
dragon horn on a guy's lower back.
It's pretty different. Fool's Paul, our movie reviews.
Yep, I'm going to go into Ford versus Ferrari.
And I'll be discussing The Mandalorian.
Yes, Maltese connection, politics. What are we talking about? Ricky Gervais' speech at the
Golden Globes, which you just
Tune
did.
into that.
Which was fantastic. Give that a listen. Control violent animals, which is what we aim to be. We're going to go into some dating etiquette.
Yep, this is going to be our masculinity dating section. Yes, check out that. Hefty
Beautiful.
Smurf is going to be about nutrition, health, exercise. We talk about fasting in this episode.
Excellent.
And our experience with that.
Yeah, then we go to Rap School, Roger and Pace School, which is just our listener question. Got to do with public displays of affection. And then we end with
Boom Moments, which is going to be our positivity mindset section that we're passionate about. Tune into that.
nice.
Boom.
Hope you enjoy it, guys.
All right, hey, we're back.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm pumped for number 4.
Number 4. All right. Woo. Hey, guys. Roger and Jay here yet again.
Yeah. Nice
Jay,
to be here.
how was your week?
It was good.
Good?
Yeah. Last time we met, episode 3 was just after Christmas, right?
Yes,
So lots happened. It's a new year. It's 2020, guys. What are your plans for the year? But I guess I set some goals, had a good week. But Dad had a bit of a scare.
Oh, yeah?
He woke up on his anniversary day, can you believe it, on the 30th of December. And he had some pain in his stomach. And we had to get him to hospital. The ambulance had to pick him up.
Oh, really?
Send him to hospital. Ends up spending 3 nights there. So he spent New Year's Eve, New Year's Day there.
Yeah.
But thankfully, he's all good. He's the stomach sorted itself out. Not exactly sure what happened there, but they thought they were going to operate, but they didn't have to.
Really?
So, yeah.
They were going to operate, but they didn't know.
Yeah,
what
they
was
weren't
wrong.
sure. They had to wait, and they just said it was twisted, and they were hoping it would untwist itself, and it did eventually. They said normally it happens in 24 hours, but it took about 48 or more. That's why they thought they were going to have to operate, but they didn't, thankfully.
Okay. And how is he now?
He's good, man. Back to his old self. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, thankfully. So, so it's been good, man. Other than that, went to the beach a little bit.
Yep.
Some days I went and it was too
And then you
packed.
turned around and
I
went home.
turned around and went home. That's what happens in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which beach was that, Bondi?
That was, Bondi. And then I went to Little Bay.
Oh, yeah, Little Bay.
And
That's
that
nice
was
down there.
packed.
That's a small beach.
Yeah,
So, it's gonna be pretty
And
great.
last time I went, I've been once, and there was hardly anyone there, so it was a bit of a shock to see so many people. Parking was outrageous, and I guess people out there they think Australia is this amazing beach country, and it is. But if you go on the wrong day, it can get chaotic.
Well,
and
especially
not so much
during the
fun.
holidays, and it's been
that time of the year,
40, 45 degrees on a lot of days Celsius.
How bad's the air quality?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these fires.
It's not too bad now because of the rain. A little bit, it's cleared it up, but
helps.
Yeah, it was pretty bad for a while. Yeah.
How was your week, mate?
My week after Christmas, not too bad. Went to the beach a lot as well. We went to like Chinaman's Bay, which was like another nice quiet beach.
Where is that?
It's in the harbour. And that was pretty nice. Again, hard to get to relatively, like in terms of parking and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
We went on that day that was like 45, 46 degrees. Then we went to one near Cronulla called the Rook, which is quite nice.
Down
as well.
south it gets a bit nicer heading down south.
Yeah.
Easier to park and not as packed.
Yeah. It's still pretty busy.
Really?
And Balmoral Beach, which is beautiful, but you pay a fortune for parking and if you manage to get a spot. And
Balmoral, is that down south as well?
No,
Where is
that's
that one? Balmoral.
That's like near Manly, near Mossman.
Oh yes, that's up north. Okay.
Beautiful, really nice. Went there with the kids and the wife.
Nice.
Had
I
Christmas.
saw some pics on Instagram.
Yeah.
Cute.
I am cute. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, the kids aren't too bad either, mate.
Yes,
But definitely.
stealing my thunder.
Yeah.
One pick at a time. Had a lot of nitro coffee as well, which is why I'm drinking nitro. I'm like in the zone. I've got this keg that makes
You mentioned
nitro
that
coffee
through your job, right?
Or
is it?
No, through this company that I know that sell them, and It's just like this keg. You put in a nitro canister, you brew some coffee, and like it's on tap as if you're in a bar or something like that.
That's awesome.
And it's like really like no calories because you don't have to add sweetener. It's already sort of sweet. And it's frothy, nice. It's better. Tastes better than this. No offense, Boss Coffee, not a sponsor.
Yeah,
but,
this isn't too bad actually. I'm
but
saying
really
this
good.
isn't too bad sweetness wise either. But yeah, your one's even better. Gosh, you got to
slightly better. Yeah,
start
I'll bring it one day and I'll
putting that
give
stuff
you a
in
try.
a can.
Yeah,
bring that one.
yeah,
here.
but I think once you have it in a can, that's what's causing it's not as fresh, Anyway, enough about coffee. But that was good. Went rock climbing with my daughter as well, which was fun.
Awesome.
Bit of bowling, stuff like that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
I need to get out a bit more.
Yeah,
do some fun things.
Yeah.
We need to do archery.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
And if we do, we'll get some footage for the YouTube viewers.
Yeah.
100%.
I bet I'll be better than you.
I did a bit of archery
did you?
in LA, man. It was a bit of a natural.
Oh, Jesus, I've
bit of
maybe
warning.
We should have a bet.
Yes. Should we bet? All right. Leave us some comments on how much we should bet.
Okay. All right, let's get straight into
it.
All right, we've got a segment called RP Recommends. RP, obviously, for Roger and Pace. Jay, do you want to go first? What do you recommend for this week?
Okay. Well, at first, I was going to recommend the Libby app, but I believe I've done that already on this thing.
I think you have, yeah.
I think I have. So I'm going to jump right to a podcast I've just started listening to by the BGB acting school in Los Angeles. I actually audited a couple classes at that school when I was in LA. I actually met with Steve Braun, the BGB.
GBB.
Yeah, heebie-jeebies. The BGB school stands for Brahman Garcia Braun, and it's Risa Brahman Garcia and Steve Braun. I met up with Steve Braun, had a one-on-one chat with him. It was a one-on-one session, private session. He was a great guy, really down to earth, really honest and real about the journey, the industry, comes from an acting background, had a pretty good level of success as an actor. I think he was a regular on a TV show as well. Now he loves it so much he's teaching classes now in LA, and that's I think his main focus now, and building up other actors. But yeah, they have a podcast out. I found that out today. I get emails from the school, and so I subscribe to their podcast, listen to a couple episodes today at the
Not
gym.
too bad.
Yeah, really good. It just keeps you informed. I think as an actor, it's good to just be informed. These guys know casting directors. They know the journeys of many actors. They come from an acting background. Usually they talk about technique and the industry, and it just really keeps you in it as an actor and keeps you informed. So I would highly recommend.
All right. Well, let's put the link in the description for that, especially if you're an actor. That sounds like a good one. I'll subscribe as well. Yeah.
Thank you, BGB.
Yes. And I'm going to recommend this fantastic YouTube show that I saw just the other week. I think I sent that to you as well. So it's called, the channel is called First We Feast, and they've got obviously different playlists in there. And the one that I'm recommending is called Hot Ones, and it's hosted by a guy named Sean Evans. I think it's an ingenious idea because they're interviewing celebrities and not just actors, but chefs and high profile people. But he does it in a completely different way where he'll sit opposite the person. The one we're going to talk about is Gordon Ramsay, and they'll have a plate or a set of chicken wings, and they're each laced with hot sauce, and they get progressively hotter as you get along. So that naturally sort of breaks down some barriers with people, when they're all sweating and coughing. Obviously, there's this great humor value as well. But I don't know, it's like you're drinking with someone and your inhibitions kind of get released a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're doing something. It's like when they talk about it with golf. So if you're making business deals, it's, the cliche is you'll go and play golf with someone to make a deal because you're involved in another activity. It kind of lowers the walls and the barriers, so to speak.
Physical exercise kind of it de-stresses you a little bit, makes you relax.
I'll tell you what, this set looks like physical exercise for some of these guys. Some of the episodes are
It's hard
hilarious.
to put a facade on when you're dying from the spiciness of the food.
I highly recommend it. And if you're going to start with any episode, the funniest one, in my opinion, is with Gordon Ramsay. It's season 8, episode 1. Again, we'll put the link in the description. But Gordon Ramsay, I mean, if you know him, he doesn't really hold back. And some of the stuff he says, just thinking about, is hilarious. And watching him progress to just this level of, he's spitting and he's just going, he's telling "fuck you" and "fuck off" to this guy.
Oh, really?
And then he teaches you how to make scrambled eggs at the end, which is a recipe I've
while he's
taken.
dying from the spice.
At the end, they wrap it up, and he has, so it goes up to they have this thing called the last tab, which is the hottest sauce that they have on the show, and it's 3.3 million Scoville heat units. Might not mean anything to you, but I think like a regular Tabasco sauce might be a few thousand or something. So it's like proper hot, and a lot of guys can't take it. He takes it, but anyway, it's worth checking out. It's hilarious.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Our next segment is the weekly lowdown. So we're going to talk about what's in the news, current and bizarre. Try and not be too political with this one because we've got another segment later that will involve that. But
this is not our main focus.
No. Jay, what have you got to chat about the weekly lowdown, my friend?
All right. Well, I'm going to bring some weird news.
Sounds about right, my friend.
Yeah, because I'm all into the weird stuff. That's my job on this podcast.
Being the weirdo.
Bring in the weirdness. Mate, but talking about weird, there was a 50-year-old UK man who shocked doctors. He shocked them.
Doctors?
Doctors?
The fuck was that?
Mate.
Just talk, mate.
They found a 14-centimetre horn-shaped growth.
They found it. How do you find a 14-centimetre horn-shaped growth?
I don't know.
Like, isn't it right? It's like saying, I found a
nose on your face. They must have seen a lump on his back and said, hey, mate, can we just do it?
He didn't go in?
No. Here's the thing, though. No, he ended up going in and showing doctors, hey, I've got this thing growing in my back. But apparently it had been a long time. Like possibly, I believe.
Oh, it looked like.
It may have been even a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, you showed me the photo. Actually.
It looked like it. We'll try
put the photo in the PIP.
We'll do that.
You can be grossed out.
Yep.
I don't know if this tops your last week, your insertion.
Yes, with the bottle.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard that one, go back to
don't put a photo of that one.
Episode 3. We did put a photo.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Oh, we have to. But this guy, had a 14-centimetre horn-shaped growth sprouted from his lower back.
That's terrible.
Doctors determined that it was an enormous, cancerous horn-shaped...
Oh, it was cancerous.
It was cancerous.
Oh, poor bugger.
But it was malignant. Is that the one that's not dangerous?
That's not cancerous.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't grow.
No, wait, malignant...
It doesn't spread. Is it?
I sound like a moron, but malignant means it's bad.
Oh, no.
It is cancerous.
Or is it benign?
Yeah. Benign is non-cancerous, so it is
right?
cancerous, yeah.
Yeah, well, they said it was a cancerous horn-shaped growth that had been growing for more than 3 years. So there you go.
Wow.
3 years it took this guy.
Yeah.
This is my question. How did he hide it for 3 years?
Yeah.
Because if you see this picture, it's enormous.
Yeah, he wouldn't
right?
be able to sit in a chair.
And wouldn't you think...
I don't know.
And you wouldn't be able to go out in public, with this... It's like
it's protruding.
backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are people out there that just...
He must have been hiding from the public. But and then to think, like, I get a little lump, man. I'm going to the doctor to check that shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you not go and get that checked out? Yeah. It's growing. It looks hideous. Yeah. Like, did his wife? I don't know if he had a wife. Gosh, he probably doesn't.
So.
I doubt it. But you'd think she'd say, honey, it's time to check that thing out. Yeah. It's been 3 years. It's growing. Yeah, but it looks like a dragon's horn.
It's not that uncommon, though, is it? People, well, I mean, it's very uncommon, but
apparently,
there are other people.
It's not that uncommon. Apparently, it's the second most non-melanoma. That's what it is. Non-melanoma skin cancer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Apparently it's the second most common, although most cases are diagnosed and treated before becoming dragon horns.
And I assume they just cut it out. And
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you get a lump happening anywhere on your body, get that stuff checked out because it could become a dragon horn. And
maybe he was just a real fan of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, maybe.
Oh, you're on the ball with that one.
And he wouldn't like me, though, because I haven't even watched an episode.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
God's sakes.
Probably just stab me with his horn.
Start with the last season. That was by far the best.
Yeah, okay. All right,
my turn.
For us, mate.
All right, guys.
Top it.
Look, this is, this has been in the news internationally, so no matter where you're listening to this, you're going to know that New South Wales and Victoria... Victoria as well, and Queensland and Tasmania have been suffering from major bushfires since for the last few months, actually. And there's a lot of debate going on because our Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, was in Hawaii at the time, and it took a relatively long time to come back, even though we're in a national crisis. So he's copped heaps of flack, and also his demeanor, I guess, when he's dealing with other people who are in these fire-ravaged areas where he'd go to visit. And there's a couple of videos on YouTube or on the news where he'd go to shake their hand and they don't. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where
people
and then he grabs the person's hand
and
he shakes it because they ignore him. And he's done that. There's twice he did that.
Yeah, wow. I saw
it's
the
really
girl
awkward,
who did that too. And
he did it to a firefighter as well who lost his house. It's painful to watch that kind of stuff.
Well, he had, especially in those, the outback areas, the rural areas,
rural towns. Yeah,
he
that's
took
where
all.
it
He
was.
took all the funding out for them, right? For the fire.
That is, I don't know
The
exactly.
fire,
I heard that as well. The Rural Fire Service.
Yeah.
Yep. So in Australia, we have RFS, the Rural Fire Service, and they handle all the bushfires. It's not your regular firefighters that do it. They're all volunteer based.
Yeah.
So unpaid. So a lot of these guys are doing, weeks on end away from their jobs and families, fighting these fires for no pay.
Yeah.
So they're great. Good on them. I applied last year.
Oh wow!
But I think it's a bit of a process, and I think there appears to be a lack of funding based on what I saw of the equipment and the trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
wow.
that's another.
I read an article that he had cut funding there for them. Yeah, so that's probably another reason why they're a bit pissed off.
Yeah,
and now this is happening. So yeah.
So they're over 500 million animals have been wiped out, I believe.
I saw
that. It could be higher at the moment.
Some shocking photos, huh?
Yeah,
kangaroos like scorched,
kangaroos
cooked, man.
Yeah, and koala bears. It's really tragic. There's a big debate. We won't go too much into it, but a big debate as to what's the cause. Is it affected by climate change, or is it amplified? The arsonists as well. So some of the stats around that is. Well, in New South Wales alone, 24 people have been arrested for deliberately starting bushfires since November 8, while 184 have been charged and cautioned for bushfire-related offences, which might be having a barbecue or flicking a cigarette or something like that, carelessness. But 24 people arrested, so it's probably deliberately starting fires, which I believe is there's been a lot of media. Obviously, it's really bad, but the media is, they want to grab a story. So this is a big story. So they're reporting it, catastrophic conditions, all these kind of, all this lingo, rolling coverage. And if you're a firebug, I can only imagine that would entice you more to...
I can't understand that, huh?
Being
a firebug, like getting...
Yeah, a lot of them are actually firefighters.
Really?
Yeah. So they want some action, I guess,
Yeah, wow.
I don't know. But it's a sickness for sure. But, when you have enormous coverage of something that can entice someone to do something wrong, because they kind of want that notoriety, or I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in the heads of these crazy people, but obviously arson is a huge problem. 24 fires started. Who knows what else they have? How those fires have trickled on and caused another fire that you may not know of. But it's catastrophic. It's pretty bad. We have had some rain in the last few days, so it's hopefully easing. But there's been no
real major downpour yet. Huh?
No, there hasn't been. I'd love to see it just pour rain for 5 days.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you want to help, there's an Australian comedian named Celeste Barber. She's probably leading the way, and she has set up a fundraising campaign, and I think
that's
the
awesome.
initial goal was like $10,000.
Yeah, right. You were mentioning that.
Yeah, but
what's it at now?
50. It's borderline 50 million when I checked this morning. It's like 47 million. So it's obviously going to hit 50. That's crazy.
50
so
million.
we'll put the link in the show notes as well. But I just heard just before I got here today that a couple of Australian billionaires donated $70 million.
Yes.
Hemsworth donated $1 million. Pink.
Hemsworth did?
Yeah.
What a legend.
Yeah.
Because Pink did 500,000. Nicole Kidman did 500,000.
And there are a bunch of others as well.
Yeah, good on him. What a legend.
Yeah.
Go, Chris.
Yeah.
I actually want to donate something tonight. I've got that down, so I might head into this.
50 million, mate.
50 million. I might see.
You a global
maybe take a little
mining
fraction
magnate?
out of the. Some other lady. I think it was a lady. Another billionaire, Aussie.
Yep.
Who? donated. I can't recall the name, but she actually didn't want to mention how much she put in.
Good on
it.
it.
But put in some hefty amount too.
Yeah. Oh, James Packer, he did. I think he did $1 million or $5 million or something. I don't know.
Yeah, wow.
But there were a lot of people also
70
donating.
million, like
that's
some
crazy.
mining dude, right?
Yeah. Mining family or something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Everyone's getting behind. It was mentioned at the Golden Globes, which we'll go in a little bit of a talk about the Golden Globes later on today. But really cool. Thank you for all the love and support. Hey, out there for this beautiful country of ours. Cool.
So we've got a segment called Fool's Paul. The meaning behind that is...
Explain that one.
The major film that I was in as an actor was called Fool's Gold.
So far,
of course. Fast and Furious 13 is coming along. Yeah, I wish. Anyway, and Jay was in I believe that's your best role from what I've seen. Called Paul the Apostle of Christ, which was only a couple of years ago.
You filmed that? Yeah, in Malta.
Yes.
That was cool.
So I'm a very smart person, and I put those two words together, Fool's Paul.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yes.
That's why I work with this guy.
Yeah, man. I'm
a pretty smart guy too,
All right, so obviously this is going to be about movies and stuff like that and acting experiences and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to talk about The Mandalorian. What are you going to discuss with us today?
Got Ford versus Ferrari
that was
today.
A freaking great movie.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's still at the cinemas. So if you're
it is,
right?
Yeah.
You can still see it, but probably most of you will be able to catch it on Netflix or wherever it is in the streaming service world.
Yep.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, well, touching film. It was based on a true story. I think Matt Damon performed great.
Yeah.
There were a lot of great actors.
But Bale is just...
Bale is unreal.
And I saw the film as well. He just created... Like Matt Damon's character, I can see Matt Damon in it. Bale's character was like, who is this
totally
guy?
Different.
He is this... He played... I forget the guy's name.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name. I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
But he plays the racing
true story
driver.
as well.
Yeah. When Ford entered the racing world in 66, I believe in Le Mans in 66. I believe it was 66. Great film. I mean, great direction by, it was James Mangold, I believe was the director. Amazing editing. But Bale's character just really stood out. There were a lot of like father and son scenes, which I'm a big fan of that stuff. Really love the scene when Bale's character's just done a practice. They've been
on the
doing
runway.
some practice, and then the sun's just gone down. There's still that orange red glow just on the horizon, and he sits down with his young boy on the track. And they have a little father-son time, and he talks about the perfect lap and how it's out there, and the son's listening, and he talks about racing, and it was just very moving, very touching. I actually had to take a little photo. I think I sent it to you. I don't know. I shared it on my Instagram story. But brilliant. So I've written a bit more down here. Yes, Matt Damon's speech when Ford announced to the world that they were entering the racing world to compete against Ferrari. He mentions in that speech, what did he say? He said, some people know what they'd like to do, and there are a few people who find something that they have to do. It obsesses them, and there's nothing else. That was, that was brilliant. That really touched me, and I know it touched you as well. And it rang a bell for us with the pursuit of acting as well, and we've both thought of other things. What could we do? What else is there when things get tough? But sometimes you get overcome with something that you just know you have to do, and it's gonna send you mad if you don't do it.
It's gonna eat away at you.
Yeah, and
that's like the curse of a creative.
Being creative, it's like you have to do it. Yeah, you might have to find other ways to make money if you're not, totally completely successful and relying on making a living out of your art, and your creativity, but you still have to find a way of expressing it.
Have you ever wished that you didn't have that bug?
Oh,
to be
so
creative?
many times, man. I've wished I was
just being.
Yeah, I didn't feel a lot. I wish I didn't have so much emotions and feelings that I feel deeply and that I want to express, and I wish I wasn't so creative and wanted to tell story. I wish I was a little bit more of just a numbers person, or I wish I was happy to just go to a normal job and just switch off and do it from 9 to 5 and then go enjoy family life or something, you know.
Blessing and a curse.
Yeah, but you got to do it. You got to listen to it, man.
So you highly recommend Ford versus Ferrari?
I do. Yep, it had a 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah,
it's a beautiful film, and even if you
IMDb,
that's good. If you're not into racing as well, I think it's irrelevant. Like, the cars are beautiful. It's my favorite car of all time is my favorite two cars are the Ford Shelby Cobra. So that's the car that Matt Damon. Carroll Shelby drives around as his day car.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was nice.
They're worth millions if you can get an original.
Really? Jeez.
But a lot of people get kit cars. On the GT40, which is the racing car that they built.
Some of those cars look phenomenal. I would love to drive something like that now.
Yeah.
They still look amazing.
Imagine being on that set and you get to drive.
Oh God, we were talking about that. Like, I watched some of the behind the scenes footage. Amazing. Looked like it would be such a fun project to work on, and both these high caliber actors sound like really cool dudes. Really down to earth. And, awesome.
Cool.
Love it.
All right, go see it.
Mandalorian.
I'm going to talk about The Mandalorian, which is a Star Wars universe TV show on Disney+. The first season has completed. I think we mentioned it briefly last week as well. So it's available if you have Disney+. Don't recommend pirating. But
I do not have Disney+, but I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I've got a love-hate relationship with Star Wars at the moment. You know, obviously, I'm obsessed and love the originals. The originals, 4, 5, and 6 by George Lucas. 1, 2, and 3, I was like, eh. And the recent movies, I haven't even seen the last one, The Rise of Skywalker or whatever it is. I just completely got over it.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I feel bad, but and I will watch it.
I will watch it as well.
I have to watch the one before that too.
Yeah, that was the worst.
Yeah,
The Last Jedi. Anyway, that's another topic.
A lot of in-betweens though too, right? Yeah. In between films and
but they're completely disconnected. So they made Solo, which was the Han Solo story. They made Rogue One, which was fantastic actually. That was a story in between episode 3 and episode 4 about the Death Star plans. But and they're making another one with Ewan McGregor about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anyway, so Disney owns it. They're going to pump out as much shit as they possibly can. The Mandalorian, thankfully, is better. So if you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. I mean, it's 8 episodes. It's not bad, but it's not unreal. It's not phenomenal. There were a few episodes. First 3 episodes, that trilogy arc was great, where they introduced the obviously the main character and his plight, but also Baby Yoda, which has been the subject.
Isn't that Joe Pesci or just referring to Ricky Gervais' speech, which we'll touch on later? Baby Yoda,
really cute, and they did well with that. I appreciate that. But some of the writing was pretty average in a couple of episodes. So episode 4 and 5, I think, were my least favorite, where they're just it becomes episodic. By that I mean, he's got this little plot for that episode, and then he achieves whatever he has to do in that episode, and it's not really connected to the overall arc of the story. And I didn't like that.
That's called something, right? It becomes episodic.
Yeah. So they did that for those 2 episodes, and I was like, it kind of pulled me out of it a little bit. It was like getting monotonous, and already after those 2 episodes.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I remember the first 3 really were pumped about it.
Because I had only seen 1 to 3 at that point. There were a lot of plot holes and conveniences. For example, in the last episode, in the whole thing, it's like the Mandalorian has never heard of the Jedi. It's like, how is that possible? You know, this was only a few years after the Return of the Jedi, the last original film episode. And it's like, no one knows about the Jedi anymore all of a sudden. Anyway, that was a bit weird. Moff Gideon, who's the bad guy in the last episode, he's got our heroes pinned in a not giving anything away, but he's got them pinned in a house or hut or whatever it is, and he wants them to surrender, and he goes, I'll give you till nightfall to make a decision to surrender. It's like, well, why are you giving them till nightfall? Just give them 5 minutes, obviously that's a plot convenience, so they have time to plan an escape. And I was like, oh, that's lazy, man.
Yeah, wow.
There was a fight scene with Mando and this actress. Well, she was a UFC fighter, and she became an actress.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who?
Cara something or other.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I mean, a lot of these guys end up becoming actors.
I know, but anyway. She and he's wearing armor that deflects blaster shots or absorbs them, so he can get shot and not
how convenient
die.
is that?
Yeah, but then she fights him, and I think he had fights with other people. And why would you punch a guy that's wearing armor that deflects blaster shots? Is your punch going to be stronger than a blaster shot? And he's like, oh, God.
She was a UFC fighter, mate.
Man, come on. There's no UFC in whatever those planets are called.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot of padding, random exposition.
So what, like he gets knocked out by her punches?
No, he doesn't get knocked out, but he takes an effect from it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I mean, I guess that wasn't too
it's
bad.
just like
the whiplash.
He absorbs the laser stuff and bounce of laser stuff, but
not fists.
Not fists. Yeah. Not brutal force.
Anyway.
Fist.
Yeah, it was a bit...
From a female punch. It's pretty woke.
But it is woke, isn't it? She's a strong woman, though. I give her that. But the idea of the adventure and stuff like, traveling from planet to planet and being on a mission and all this kind of stuff is very romantic, and I like that. And so it's definitely not all bad. I'm just picking out the worst spots of it, but overall it was really good. I mean, I give it 3.5 stars.
Okay,
definitely worth seeing. He's a cool cat. It's good. It's not that bad. It's good.
All right, nice. Cool. I'll have to get around to that one.
Yep.
Cool, that was Fool's Paul, everybody.
All right.
Everybody.
Maltese Connection. Why is it the Maltese Connection, Jay?
Oh, mate, because...
Why? Because
we
we're both
two
Italian?
extremely handsome, strong...
Humble.
Extremely humble, passionate, so talented Maltese people, mate. And we are connected. Connection? Like, give us your pinky, mate.
Oh, sorry. Oh, this is a bit...
Connection! The Maltese Connection! Shazam!
We should do that. Uncomfortable there.
We should do that
every time. Yeah, man.
From the guy who kept touching my hand in episode 3. If you haven't watched it yet, you should. We should do that before this section. All right. The Maltese Connection.
If you're just listening, it's better that you're just listening and not seeing this.
Give us your thoughts, everybody. If we should just add that into this section. Yeah, the Maltese Connection. What are we talking about, Raj?
All right,
you sexy Maltese man.
We're going to briefly mention... man, I've been drinking too much coffee. I've got to take a leak.
I'm going to... I'm going to sound like John Howard.
John Howard?
Yeah, it's great to be here today, everybody.
It's not bad, actually.
It's not bad, huh?
Not bad. Not great. Kind of like the Mandalorian, 3.5.
No, anyway, awesome. You should still watch it.
We are going to talk about Ricky Gervais, and I actually really have to take a leak. So I'm going to run out while you get started.
Awesome.
But we do want to mention the strikes in Iran. Actually, yep. No.
You going to go?
No, I'm going to go. What are you going to... You want to start?
Yeah.
I'll be 10 seconds.
No problem.
Talk amongst yourself. I'll check the camera down.
As well. Yeah, no problem. So that speech by Ricky Gervais, wow! Both Roger and I thought it was brave, and we admired his ability to just go up there and almost just not care. Well, he didn't. He said multiple times he didn't care. Look, the first time I watched it, actually the second and the third time I watched it, I was still finding myself laughing. I was shocked by it, but I personally feel, and I believe Roger is on the same page, that it was something that Hollywood and maybe even the world needed to hear. There's been such a climate of political correctness going on, and all this wokeness that we're losing a sense of reality. Not that we're, on one side or the other, but we're all about, let's be real about what's really going on. Let's not be all the way left, all the way right, all the way on this team, all the way on that team. Like, let's just be real and honest with each other, people. And that's one of the things that really stood out with this speech. It was so refreshingly, brutally honest. And I loved it. I loved the slap in the face and the kick in the balls.
Yeah. What were some of his best parts?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I loved firstly, he said, guys, we're all going to die and there's no sequel.
And it's just jokes.
It's just jokes.
And that was...
Come on, loosen up, everybody.
In the pre-interview when he was with Ryan Seacrest, he said... I'm going to tell them it's just jokes. Like, I'm going to preempt it.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I don't think they got the message though, given the some of the messages they were saying afterwards, and what you said about some of the entertainment publications, sort of saying he was boring and blah,
the
blah,
entertainment
blah.
publications.
Man, he was the best thing about that whole show.
Yeah, so many Brits were proud of him.
Yeah,
afterwards,
definitely Aussies as well. We appreciate that humour.
Yeah, definitely. But he. Go into what were some of your favourite parts?
Well, all right. The DiCaprio joke was beautiful, and it wasn't offensive. It was just purely funny. Where he said, "Once Upon a Time in Hollywood" was another really long film, and
along with The Irishman, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
3.5 hours for The Irishman.
Yeah.
But DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him.
Yeah,
and that was.
And he took it well.
Yeah, he took it very well. But then he went on to say, even Prince Andrew was like, "Come on, Leo, mate, you're nearly 50 something," and that's when the crowd went, "Ooh." You don't want to.
He was just swinging.
He doesn't.
I loved it.
Didn't care at all, and he even said, "I don't care. Shut up."
Shut up. I'm not coming back. This is the last time.
Well, that's what he said about the Epstein joke, where he said, Epstein didn't kill himself, and everyone's like, "Ooh." It's like, oh, shut up. I know he's your friend.
Yeah, but I don't care. I'm not coming back. This is the last time. Yeah, I loved his he just oozed such comfort.
Yeah,
and he came across as a dude who had maybe for many years tried to please everyone and tick all the boxes, and it was like he was a dude who had just come to the end of it all. He's finally comfortable in his own skin. Didn't give a shit what anybody thought anymore.
Yeah, but he's been like that.
But he's been like that for a while. But he was just
completely confident.
He was like the pinnacle of that.
Yeah,
on that podium, on that stage with that speech for the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
He just oozed that, and even for myself, I was like, man, I would love to be more of that in life. Not to go out there and just be totally rude and blunt
for the sake of it.
Yeah, just for the sake of it. But I think being a little bit blunt, a little bit more often in life, might not be a bad thing.
Might not be.
Might not be, mate. He mentioned Apple. He attacked Apple.
That was one of the best ones.
Oh my god!
I can just see Tim Cook's face.
Yeah, he was. I mean,
he was not amused. Oh man, it was gold and painful at the same time.
And then I loved how he mentioned, you work for these companies who are like Apple, Disney, Amazon, who have these, sweatshops in China, and you actors or whatever, you guys in the industry try and be all these people who are woke and politically correct, and we love people and we love the world, and yet wherever the money is, that's where we're going to go. He mentioned if ISIS created a streaming service, you'd be calling your agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You hypocrites.
Yeah, he really
He just went all out.
Yeah.
And it was bloody refreshing.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
And he's funny, man.
It was hilarious.
He just delivers so well.
Yeah. But I don't think they really listened to him. One of the best things he said was, so if you win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
Yeah, that was gold.
It was like, he's like... It wasn't even funny at that point. It was funny for me, but
it was just a passionate rant that I feel like it's like he collected everyone's passion who's been holding back a rant, and he spoke for everyone.
Yeah, and he did it well.
Fed up, by all this political correctness and Hollywood woke crap.
And he finished that bit with, so if you win tonight, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your guide, and fuck off, okay? Because it's already 3 hours long. All right, let's go. And
and the first nominee,
first, oh my god, it's already it's gold. And people still use it as a political platform. I always thought that as well. I don't know if you, while I was in the loo talking about that, but that resonated with, I always believe that as well. Some of these award shows are a bit of a wank, I
didn't mention that. No,
look, I respect them completely as well, because it's not just millionaires giving each other awards and all that kind of thing. There is an appreciation for being recognised for good work. Yeah,
and it makes people, I guess, strive for something and gives them a goal. Yes. Not that they should do it for the awards or anything, but it's a nice way of bringing the industry together and recognising talent and hard work. Yeah,
but he really exposed the disconnect with entertainers and high profile people such as actors and regular society, where they believe they're in a position to almost lecture the rest of us.
Yeah, teach and
like this is what you should be doing and blah blah blah, which is what he meant by that last bit where he was saying, don't use this as a political a stage to make a political speech or anything like that. But they still did, and I believe they still will. But that was probably my favourite part, because I think there's enough of that.
Yeah, I think so. Look,
people
I get
sick
it.
of being lectured to and all that kind of shit.
I get it if you want to go up there and inspire people like you. Gosh, use the platform to inspire people to maybe dream big and to go at their goals and to face their fears and make something of themselves if they want to. And
like Russell Crowe. I don't know if you remember Russell Crowe's speech when he won.
For Gladiator?
For the Gladiator.
I remember he had a beautiful speach. I have watched it.
He ended it beautifully where... I'm not going to do it justice, but I remember, getting like goosebumps when he said it.
Yeah, use it for that.
He ended it with it was something about a young boy growing up in Sydney or whatever, in the suburbs of Sydney, and it's possible. And he ended it with that. And I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's gold. And I think these actors need to use that platform for that, if anything. And I get it. Look, they think, we have a platform, we have influence, so let's push our political agendas and ideas. Yeah. But I don't think and I'm sure there are some extremely intelligent, well-informed actors out there that maybe have something to say, but I still don't think their life experience is normal enough for them to go out there and say, this is what we should do. Like they're the minority.
Yeah.
They're a small percentage of people living in extreme wealth and popularity. Yeah. And they have, I know their lives aren't extremely easy either, but and they experience a lot of the things that we do as normal human beings who aren't so rich and wealthy and famous. But still, their lives are different. They have a lot more benefits and luxuries that we don't have.
But it comes down to they're actors, really. Like
they're not politicians. They're not people who work for the government.
Yeah,
but
Anyway,
but some people did.
Just for him.
Yeah, and some people did speak. Michelle Williams,
yes,
used it as a platform.
Yeah, she uses it as a platform.
It's a touchy subject,
very touchy subject. Where, we'll just state the facts. But from what I interpreted from what she said was she was praising that she had the ability to have an abortion when she did, and that enabled her to continue her career. I hope I'm not. That's what I understand. I could be wrong. If you've seen it. Let me know if there's anything different.
It did come across like that she was able to go out there because of choice.
Yes.
She was able to go out there and create the life she wanted and do the things she wanted. And
then, because she was able to have that choice, she then progressed her career and was able to win this Golden Globe in the end. And it definitely rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. The entertainment media obviously fully supported it. When you Google it, it's all comes up with Variety and Deadline and all that kind of stuff, praising what a great speech and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it wasn't, but there was also a lot of backlash. If you go into the YouTube comments and the like to dislike ratio, talking about making the connection between, okay, so you have an award because you didn't have a child, and the disparity and what's more value. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
And what do you, how can you decide between a life and a career? And look, I get it. Having a kid if I had a kid right now, I couldn't just get up and go back to LA or to New York and move my life around and do whatever I want, pursue whatever I want. And, I have a lot more responsibility, and you would totally understand that. Being married, having two kids now, you can't just get up and leave whenever you want and do whatever you want, pursue the craft like you would probably like to. But still life versus doing what you want and getting your career. I don't know. And I get it. It's cool to choose, all right, I don't want to have a kid right now. I'm going to pursue my career. That's great. And that's healthy. And that's being true with yourself, but not like, well, then don't go out there and have sex and get pregnant. And if you're going to use contraceptives, you know the risk that sometimes they don't work and you might get pregnant. So take extra precaution and maybe don't even just go, I don't know. I don't want to, I got to tread lightly here.
Yeah.
But
she came across as...
It was like, I just didn't like that so many women out there are just playing the victims now. Like men are these sex-hungry people. Women have no choice in it. Like men are just jumping on them and raping them and getting them pregnant, and it's none of their fault. They have no consensus to it. Like they don't want a part of it, and it's just these evil, disgusting men out there who like sex and want sex, and women don't like sex, and women don't want sex, right, Roger?
Yes. Well, no comment.
Yeah. Because that's definitely been my life experience.
Yeah, no, it is definitely, it is not one-sided.
No, no way. You know, women have a sexual drive too. Women have a say in their sexuality. A lot of women want to have sex with men they like, and they have a choice. And you know, like, I think the choice, they're saying they have a choice, but their choice goes way before the choice they're talking about. You know what I mean? They have a choice, they're saying, once they're pregnant, but you have a choice way before that. There's so many steps before that even happens and before that even has to become a choice. Let's make healthier choices before that even has to become a choice on having an abortion or not. Like, let's try and avoid having to come across and face that choice altogether by making healthier choices beforehand, you know, and that's what I'm all about. Look, I get it, you know, people get raped as well, and that's not cool, and I can't imagine holding a baby in me that's, you know, some dude, or, you know, if I was a woman and some guy raped me and I have to carry their baby for 9 months and then bring that out into the world, I get that.
It's a whole different.
That's a whole different kind of subtopic. But yeah, I feel like even as a guy, I know, you know, we all have sexual drives. Firstly, I don't even want to say as a guy we have more of a sexual drive, because, you know, men and women are different. There are some men who have less of a sex drive than some women.
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
And I've been with some women who have almost man-like sexual drives. You know, not to toot my horn or whatever, or you know what I mean. I'm just speaking the truth. Like I've met some women that have some very like strong sex drives, and to say that they don't have a sex drive and they don't have a say and that they don't want to be sexual, and you know, I just think we need to make healthier choices with sex and protection and getting pregnant or not. And
preach, Jay. Preach
it.
That's I say that because that's what some of the people in the audience were saying. And I think just playing victims, it's just not cool anymore, man. I'm getting personally tired, and I know a lot of people are just getting tired of hearing that men are evil and women are victims, and we're so sad, and like we've got it bad, and like, no, man, we've all got a lot of great opportunities, and we all have a say, and we all have choice, and we all need to make healthier choices. Yes. Good talk, Jay. That was good.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. I'm trying.
At talking.
Yeah. I've been practicing.
In front of the mirror, like
all the time.
Robert De Niro and Taxi Driver.
Sometimes I get distracted.
You're talking to me?
By the man looking back at me.
Austin. All right, let's move on. But
yeah, cool speech. Cool. I know this is going to offend some people.
Yeah.
But we don't care.
Well, you're like Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Hey?
Fuck off.
Shut up. We're all going to die. All right, so
jokes.
Our next segment, it's jokes, and it's just comments by two dummies. So if we get it wrong,
exactly. And feel free to leave comments. You know, we like to hear both sides of the argument, and we're passionate about that. Not taking sides, not being, you know, not that we want to be on the fence, but let's be real that one side or the other doesn't have all the answers, right?
And it's all learning. You can be wrong, as long as you're open to. That's what I believe will set a lot of people apart. Is we are always open to being corrected. Yeah. So if we're 100%. Wrong one day, it doesn't mean we're going to be wrong the next day. You know, if there's some new information comes to light, it's that's the problem with the polarity with politics at the moment. Is there's such extremes between the right and the left, and no matter what they're going to believe, you know, the extreme right or the extreme left is going to believe this is the case with this issue, and this is and that's it. There's no leniency or anything like that, but there's a lot of grey area in between, and
we've got to get more into the grey.
Yeah.
If we can get a political system or a government that's more into the grey, more into the middle, and that's what we're striving for, and we can only comment off our own life experience, right? Our own perspective, like everyone else. But I think if we could get together more and hear each other's voice in peace and understanding and be open to learn from each other instead of just opposing each other and fighting against each other and putting each other down and proving our own points from our own perspective and life experience. Instead, be open to that. You know what? This is my experience and this is the way I'm seeing the world. But I could be totally wrong because someone else across the room might have a totally different experience than I do with a totally different opinion. And I want to be open to listening to what they have to say and let's discuss. And if politics can be like that and the government can be like that, if we as human beings can be like that, I think we could do a lot more and have a lot more love, a lot more peace in this world, and maybe find some more healthier answers to everything too.
Nice. Well
That's
said,
what
Jay.
we're all about. Thank you, man.
I'm conscious of the time because we want to try and keep this relatively short, but I did see a meme that was fantastic to do with Ricky Gervais. So before we go on, it was him chatting to someone on a couch or something like that, and the meme was as if he was saying, "Oh, you're offended," and he goes, "That's why." I think it was, "That's why you're unhappy," and I'm man, I just butchered it completely, but it was something along those lines. Sorry, "You're offended by something that he said." So he said, "You're offended. I find that funny. That's why I'm happier than you." You know, and that spoke true to me. It's like, yeah, you can be offended all the time, but that's on you to be offended and to be upset all the time. If you find it happy, if you find it funny, then you're probably going to be a happier person. Well, I completely butchered that thing, but it's out there.
That's totally cool. And that could go into like, I know we've got our other section, but like as a boom moment section that this was not what we were planning to talk about, but just the mindset moment, which is something we want to talk about within this podcast, the mindset moment. Part of having control, you know, we were talking about earlier with Michelle Williams' speech, having choice. Part of being human and having choice is choosing how we respond. And I know as an actor, I've at times felt like I was a victim of because this is happening and this is out of my control and these guys, I can't control this. And there's so many things in life that we can't control. But you know what we can control? We can control the way we respond.
Yeah, how it affects you.
And that's when you become, exactly. We choose to give that thing or that situation permission to affect us, either positively or negatively.
Yes.
That power is in our control. Like our hands are on the wheel more than we actually believe. We are actually way more in control than we think we are. And that's something that's been dawning on me the last year. Nice. You know, the last half of last year, and as I'm going into 2020, I want to really just come to a full understanding of how much I have my hand on the wheel and I'm steering this thing, this life of mine, and I can create it the way I want to create it. Yeah. And a big part of that is choosing how I respond to the things I have no control over, because that's the part I do control. And you can choose to laugh or you can choose to be offended. But laughing breeds better results usually, right?
I believe so.
Cool. Little early boom moment session right there.
All right. Our next topic is controlled violent animals, which is what we try to be.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk. So this is going to be masculinity, dating, men's issues, plus our experiences in this area. So today we're going to do a really quick one talking about dating etiquette. And we're just going to riff back and forth about what we think about certain things with dating etiquette. First one being picking up the girl or the partner.
Well, before that, like choosing the place as well, right? Who
all right.
Choosing the place. Say you're still texting or talking on the apps.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so let's just, generally speaking, so this is going to be, we're talking about a guy and a girl chatting, and you asked her out on a date. She says yes. Okay, so where are you going to take her for the first date? And obviously there's heaps of variables depending on the person. You know, you could do a fun activity, so it could be something like bowling or I guess a movie. I don't know. It's not that fun.
Or an outdoor activity.
Outdoor activity, like let's say abseiling for argument's sake.
Yep.
Archery. Or are you going to go for the romantic approach? So a candlelit dinner or something more fancy. That they both have their inherent risks, because, you know, if you go too romantic, it can be too heavy early on and it's like, oh, what is this guy, 80 years old? He's taking me out to this dinner. Or she could be really turned on by that.
Yep.
Otherwise,
or you can go the other end and be really low key, have a coffee date. But some girls are like, coffee, but I have more value than that.
What?
You know?
I wouldn't even call a coffee a date. That's not a date. If it's during the day, it has to be. This is my opinion.
Yep.
It has to be an activity. If it's going to be a date, like archery or whatever it is, if it's coffee, it's more just to get together. Nothing's going to happen for a coffee.
No, you don't believe that? I'm actually a fan of a coffee date.
For the first date?
Yeah.
This is
I don't mind it.
Mate.
I know. All right. No, I because I'm not a big fan of, look, I've done the whole, having a dinner and all that, but like, I don't know. I feel like a first date, there's so much anxiety and you don't know each other and you don't know what foods you like and blah, blah, blah. And like eating can be an awkward experience as it is. Let alone chucking in a whole new person in there who you're trying to impress and there's so much conversation going on in the first date and you have to navigate, answering and listening and chewing food. It just gets too much. Whereas sitting with a coffee where you just have to sip it, I don't know, it just breeds a better environment to just sit and listen and ask questions and you're just drinking. You don't have to worry about getting dirty, like
you think too much.
Your food.
Jesus Christ.
No. And it's simple and you know what, if it's a bad date, it's a quick thing,
Yeah, but it's always going to be a bad date if you're just sipping on coffee. If you're out to a nice restaurant
I've had some dates that it went from coffee to then, are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. Great, let's go grab a bite. And then it goes on from there. Okay. It's a good first place to start.
I'm only joking around. But
this is what I love about this section though, because we're only coming from our own experiences. And
I've never asked a girl for a coffee date.
No, I started doing at first for many years. I was like, no, you don't do that. It's got to be something super romantic.
But I'm not saying go full romantic. Like I wouldn't do, a really high-end restaurant for a first date because I think it's a bit wanky. Yeah. Even if I was, completely loaded and all that kind of stuff, I still think that's showing off. And
I wrote a note though, unless you actually know this girl, you've known her for a while, maybe you've worked together or you've studied together, and you've actually developed a relationship and now it's gone intimate and you're really close and you've already built a pretty good bond together and then you just want to take her out to somewhere nice, and that's cool.
Fair enough, but that's different. We're talking about the general case if you don't really know her and you're going on a first date. I think that's a very safe bet. A lot of the first dates I went to were dinners, but not in overly fancy, like just more casual, tapas style, all that kind of stuff. Because I think the environment of night breeds intimacy and
I like night.
You get that more of a connection. And I like stuff going on and you have the menu and you can discuss the menu and, I feel like if it was coffee, I'd have more anxiety and more pressure because it's not, what are you going to talk about? Whereas if you're in a restaurant setting, you can joke around. It's like, I wonder what you reckon they're on a first date? And, what about those two guys? Oh, they've been married for 30 years. Look at them. Stuff like that. You can, there's more stuff going on.
I'm a big fan of that kind of date. I think my time in LA really made me open up to that part of the dating scene. And just meeting up first dates, like just grabbing a drink at a bar. Yeah. And that's cool. I've done that. Or just grabbing a coffee in the morning and then maybe going for a hike with them or grabbing an afternoon coffee. And then if it's going well, you push that into dinner and then it could go into drinks and then into a nice walk at night or and I
got a lot of blowback with a couple of friends talking about going on a date for like on a first date being a movie. And them saying, it's for like
I'm not
kids.
A fan of that.
No. I don't think there's anything wrong with the genre of the movie. Like it's a staple.
And the only reason I say that is because it doesn't encourage conversation. It's not really a place because you're going to go into a dark room and watch a movie.
That's why it's great. It's a dark room.
Yeah. But don't you want to get to like on a first date? Don't you want to get to like, I have so many questions on the first date. I'm excited because that's why for me having a coffee, I don't get intimidated because I come in with so many questions. I'm genuinely curious about who they are, where they've come from, what's their family like, what do they love, what are their passions, what do they think of the future and their goals and where are they going? Like,
man, I'd hate to go on a date with you.
Oh my gosh, but I bounce off. Like I listen and I but I feel like there's this whole new person.
It's in a simulation?
Yes,
I mean, no. Jesus, Jay.
I don't ask about what they think in that sense. I feel like more so like what's like their goals for the future? What's the life they want to create? And
should we get married?
Yeah. Where are we going on the second date? And but I feel like I have so many questions to ask.
Okay, fair enough.
And some dates I've been on are just so dead. Yep. And like I would hate to be having a dinner.
Yeah.
Especially if it was a nice, expensive restaurant. I'm thinking this girl's like she's dead. Yeah. And look, no,
Jesus, you
she's not. Yeah, I dragged her into the restaurant. My gosh.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. No, but like, I don't want to say she's a deadbeat, but I just said it.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
We're not.
Shut up. I don't care. I'm not coming back. But because some dates I've been on, like the girl doesn't even ask a question. And I'm just asking all the questions and she's answering and no questions back. And it's like, man, I'm going to sip this coffee fast. Yeah. I'm going to end this thing.
Yeah.
And so that's, I don't know. But each to their own opinion.
Okay.
But anyway, who should make the call?
The call for
like
what?
where the date's going to be, what time, what day. What's your opinion?
My opinion is the guy should make the call, not from a sexist point of view, but because I believe that's attractive to most women.
I think women like that.
To be dominant,
be decisive.
and say, look, let's go here. And she wants someone to take charge. So that's a no-brainer. I think we're in agreement on that.
And obviously, you ask like if they're going to be
you
free,
you know,
a
dickhead and say, hey, you,
this time,
me,
see you
here.
then. If you can't make it, piss off. It's not like that.
No.
But I think we ultimately have to like say, let's go here. Let's meet at this time.
I really want to wrap this up nice and quick, but we'll go through three. We'll touch on this maybe next week or the week after.
We can go into this more.
Yeah. Well, let's quickly go through 3 points. So picking up the girl, as in picking her up from the house.
Okay.
So
now it's
you offer to pick her up. Yeah, the date's set. You're going to coffee. Are you going to pick her up or are you going to meet her there? What do you think?
In my 20s, I was a big fan of picking up the girl.
Yep.
I feel like that's changed dramatically now. And again,
especially with Tinder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. And my time in LA and New York, people like live in apartments. So it's not like you're going to go all the way up and knock on their door. You know what I mean? Before it was like you would go to their parents' house, and that was a big move too, you know. And like these days, girls are like, I don't want you to meet my parents now, and I get it. I don't want to meet them right now either.
That's exactly what happened with my wife. Is I went to pick her up for the first date at her parents' house, and as I was driving there, I was toying with, well, you know, I want to be a gentleman. I should go to the door, but
we've been brought up that
parents. Way. Like, oh man,
it's too much. It's too full on.
So I didn't. I just texted her, and she came out, and I think that was probably the appropriate choice.
Yeah,
you know, because who was I? Like, I could have been finished within a week.
Yeah,
obviously I wasn't, but you know,
you want to leave that.
Yeah,
you don't want to have to deal with that for both parties. Even the parents don't have to deal with that until they have to. You know, so but even just going to their place these days, I found a lot of girls found that weird, I can understand them being scared about that as well. Like again, like you just mentioned, it could be over in a week. You could be a psycho. They don't want to give you their address. So usually I'm just a big fan of. I like to pick a place close to them, so it's easy for them to get to, and it's not too long for them to get back in case we have a late one and they're tired. I don't mind if I have to drive a long distance, but I usually would like to pick them up. I have suggested every now and then, do you want me to pick you up? Do you have a car? And if they're like, oh no, that's cool, I can make my way there. I can meet you then. I'm cool. Yep, cool. Great.
Paying for the bill, first date. So say you went to dinner.
Now it's done and it's been a good day. Whether it was a good date or a bad date, I'm 100% always, I pay it.
Okay.
Yep.
I would too.
Yep.
Especially for the first date. And it's not not trying to be a status thing or a, overtly masculine thing, but it's more of a tradition, I think. And, it's nice.
And it's almost like, you know what, this one's on me. This is my treat.
Yeah, you can get the next one if you wanted to ease the burden. So
and I'm not against that. You know, maybe the second date or the third date, the girl pays or you go halves. I've had some dates where the girl was very adamant about paying and we went halves or she paid it at times as well. And you know what? And I've had to learn to accept that and receive the gifts as well. Get better at receiving. There was something I had to say about that. Receiving.
Oh God, let's not go into it.
Oh my gosh.
You were going to say something else? Did I just?
I don't want to know about what you're receiving, right? On the weekends. It's Friday night.
Did you have something else?
No, I did want to mention something else about that.
I just said, did you have something else? And you said, no. I did want to mention something else.
But I'm like that. I'm like bipolar like that.
Oh, okay.
1 minute here, 1 minute there. It's crazy.
So I understand why the girls don't want you to pick them up from the house.
Exactly. Just meet me there. Trust me.
At the dark alley down the corner.
Trust me. I'm not going to be here next week. It's jokes. I'm joking. No, but like just quickly on that point, I do appreciate it when a girl offers to pay. Like just refer to your wallet. Go to it. Just tease and bring the card out. Even if you don't mean to pay at all 100%. But just the gesture of of suggesting to pay for it is a very nice gesture, and I like that. I appreciate that. I've been on some dates with the girls. It's just
I thought that's what you were going to say.
And it's very like, they expect it, and I get that too, but it's kind of annoying. Okay. But all cool.
We have about the first kiss, but let's save that for next week.
Yeah, well, let's go into this one next week again.
Okay, cool.
I like that.
Done.
Cool.
All right.
A lot to talk about on that.
Hefty Smurf.
Yes, explain
Love
that
Hefty
section.
Smurf.
Explain this section too much.
Hefty Smurf was the man. If you're young, you probably don't know what the Smurfs are, but the Smurfs were obviously a cartoon with blue little whatever the hell they are.
I love the Smurfs.
Yeah, great. And Hefty was the one that worked out a lot. So this is a fitness and nutrition topic segment.
Smurfette was the babe.
She was the babe.
And Hefty
she was the only woman.
Hefty
Hefty had testosterone running through his veins.
Yes.
All right. So
this is where we talk about fitness and health. And
so today we're going to talk about fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for me, I've been doing intermittent fasting for a few years actually.
Do you do it every day?
Almost. Okay, yeah, pretty much every day. I've got a timer on my phone that I set when I finish my last meal and try and go for 16 or 17 hours.
Yeah,
I've done.
Awesome, yeah.
36 hours. I think we spoke about this already, so we won't keep going into it. But in that time, I have some undisputed benefits of fasting, and I would highly recommend it. And the undisputed benefits, they're undisputed because I feel them consistently when I fast. So it's 100%. It's working for me, and I've seen these results written and spoken about with other people who do fasting, and you really appreciate the next meal. So if I do a fast, especially if it is, let's say I started fasting at midday and then I have my first meal, breakfast, the next morning, I am really looking forward to that breakfast. I really appreciate it. It tastes better. You just get a greater appreciation for food when you're not stuffing your face 24/7. Calorie restriction. So if you're trying to lose weight, when you're fasting, it makes calorie restriction much easier, especially if you're like me and you tend to snack later on in the night and before you go to bed. If you've started your fast at midday or 6 p.m., whatever it is, once you've got those few hours under your belt of fasting, you don't want to break it by snacking on chips or some ice cream. So you're less likely to snack, and obviously that means you've got a shorter window of when you can eat, so you can only fit X amount of calories in, as opposed to having the 24 hours. So it definitely works for weight loss. Mm-hmm. Less snacking, as I said, go on.
When you do the intermittent fasting, are you doing 16 or 18 hours?
I do. I try and do 17 as a regular.
Wow.
Just to go a little bit higher than everyone else.
Yeah,
but,
usually it's 16,
16 is the norm, but people do it for less and people do it for more. But I think 17 and 7, because 7's my favorite number, so that's kind of why I picked it anyway. Nice. And that's like a 7-hour window is enough to get enough calories and macronutrients in, I believe. Sometimes it's a little bit rushed. Basically, you're just having 2 meals a day instead of 3 core meals. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, you get, sorry guys, I had one more. Feel great, have more energy. You definitely feel great, definitely have more energy, definitely feel lighter. And you feel fantastic when you're empty. You know, your body's just finished digesting and you're lighter and you have more energy.
Yeah, well, there's less. It's less taxing on your body because your body's it's breaking down less food, and
it's finished the digestion phase, and it can work on other things.
Can focus on other parts of the body, including like recuperation, repairing damage,
and that's where it comes into the disputed benefits, which I would say they're disputed because there is data out there, but I wouldn't know from directly. Personal experiences with me, but that's blood sugar control, less inflammation, boost in brain function. I actually believe that is definitely true. Aging benefits and cell regeneration.
I totally believe in that. I feel like even just eating cleaner will add to like aging benefits.
For sure.
Decrease in age.
Because you were like 65 years old, and look at you.
Exactly. I mean, if this doesn't say something about fasting and eating clean for a 65-year-old guy, I mean...
Man, how was that actor? We saw this actor.
Yeah, he was amazing. Wow.
Danny Grillo or something. He's 54. Ripped to the shithouse and just looked like...
And muscular too.
Very muscular.
Not just lean and ripped, but like muscular and ripped.
No, I would class that as almost borderline perfect physique.
Yeah,
Danny Grillo or something like that. Some very, very Italian name.
Yeah, very inspiring. Very inspiring.
Anyway, he's not 65.
No, I'm
sorry.
Should I give them my age?
As I said, it's on IMDb.
It is. Yeah. So who cares? I mean, Jokes.
What have you got to say about fasting? Because
I've written a bit out here. Yeah, I've experimented. I do struggle with the intermittent fasting. I have a fast metabolism. I eat more than 3 meals a day. I'm eating at least 5, but not always massive meals. I mean, 2 of them usually are smoothies, but they're packed with like fruits and veggies. And I used to smash protein powder in there, but I'm eating less protein at the moment, and less fats as well. But then I have a couple, like 2 to 3 meals as well. I've never been a big meal eater. I have a random like meal here and there that's big, and even at home sometimes I just get extremely hungry and I'll have a massive meal. But yeah, so it's hard for me to do the intermittent fasting, although I've done it and I would like to add it to my life a little bit more regularly. I haven't fasted longer than I think 28 or 29 hours. I did a 24-hour fast New Year's Eve. Okay. That felt great.
That's significant.
It wasn't as hard. Yeah, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It had been a while since I'd done one like that, maybe 2 years.
Was that did you do a sunrise to sunset kind of thing? Because the reason why I say that is if someone wants to try doing a long fast, the best way to do it is to just try one full day where you wake up and then you don't eat anything and you go to bed and you don't eat anything. So, for example, you fast all of Monday and you have your meals Sunday and Tuesday, and that's if you can do that, that ends up being about 36 hours.
Yeah, see, that's hard. I haven't gone that far. I would like to. I've been contemplating starting a fast tonight, actually.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, and maybe going on past the 24-hour.
Okay.
I would like to try and even do a 3-dayer if I can. So by the next episode, we'll find out if I did it or not and how far I did go. But I would like to try and do. I would have to maybe not go to the gym.
I think you can't. You could do like light cardio and stuff like that, but definitely don't be
like lifting weights
because you'll be
just makes your body hungry for food and nutrients.
Yeah.
But I usually do it, for health benefits, but more so for spiritual reasons as well. And it's been known as a spiritual practice for many centuries. I've actually got here that it's been around since ancient times. It's mentioned in the Bible many times. Usually people would fast to seek direction from God. They would, you know what? I've got it here. I don't want to get this wrong.
All right, you find it. People. I'll just sorry, we're at 1 hour 10. We're really trying to keep this to an hour, but I don't know. It's going to be hard. This is like going to be longer
so much
than our
to talk
first
about.
One. Jesus.
Yeah, but biblical figures fasted when they wanted guidance, protection, or healing from God, and fasting was a way of humbling yourself before God. So people would fast, and it's a letting go of the flesh because the flesh is our own human fleshly desires for things, and one of them being food and water. Yep. Not that you like some people fast from water, but I've never done that. Yeah, don't recommend that. But you can also fast from many other things, but I won't go into that now for the sake of time. But fasting from food is a spiritual practice. Even non-biblical figures were into it, like Pythagoras and Plato. Oh man, there's so much to say about this. But yeah, anyway, my own experience with it is for spiritual reasons and just cleaning out the body. I'm a big fan of it. I would say though, seek medical advice if you suffer from diabetes.
Well, that's a good point.
Yes.
Seek medical advice. Don't listen to us.
Yes. Seek medical advice. Don't just get into it, especially if you have diabetes, if you're low blood sugar, if you I don't know, you might be going through something where fasting can be dangerous at times. It's not always a great thing to do. What else did I have here? You can have coffee and tea when you fast. Some people choose to be off it if they're fasting for spiritual reasons sometimes and they want to fast from things that they actually enjoy taking. Then you might not want to do coffee. I drink coffee when I fast.
Same with me.
Yeah, you do the same, right? In intermittent fasting, they talk about having coffee and fizzy drinks, not soda.
Yeah.
They say if it's under 50 calories, it's fine.
Yeah, some people. Yeah, that's the general consensus. They also say that it should just be a water fast if you want to get the benefits of the sort of cell rejuvenation. So you don't want, because even if you have a coffee or more so like something that's artificially sweetened, so it's got 0 calories, however it's got a sweetener, that can trigger a response in your body because your body thinks it's about to get calories and a digestion phase begins or something along those lines. So it kind of defeats. I'm doing it more for calorie restriction and just the challenge. So that's why I'm not too strict on that kind of thing. But
what if it's just soda water?
Soda waters should be fine, I assume.
It's just fizzy.
Yeah, fizzy water.
But also drink plenty of water.
Yeah.
When you're fasting.
Yeah.
Drink plenty of water. Like we said, don't recommend water fast. But I would just like to quickly say something here about Pythagoras. It was well recorded that Pythagoras, the great mathematician and philosopher, systematically starved for 40 days, believing that it increases the mental perception and creativity. A notion that today's scientists have proven to be so.
Really? Okay.
Amazing, right? 40 days. I mean, in the Bible as well, a lot of people fasted for 40 days. That seemed to be the number. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the desert before he went off and started his world-changing ministry for 3 years. Plato, who was a disciple of Socrates, divided medicine into true and false, the true being that which gives health, which included fasting, air, and sun. But it was Hippocrates, I believe that's how you say it, the father of modern medicine, who created the Mediterranean diet, who took fasting and food out of the realm of philosophy and made them into a medical must. He said the following about fasting for a sick person. This is only a small extract, just to let you guys know. The addition of food should be much rarer when you're sick, since it is often useful to completely take it away while the patient can withstand it until the force of the disease reaches its maturity. If the body is cleared, the more you feed it, the more it will be harmed.
That makes sense, because your body needs time to recuperate. And if you're giving it other duties, it's like you wouldn't go for a run or go to the gym when you're really sick, because you're going to tax your body and it has to repair.
Exactly.
I guess the same, I'm just thinking out loud, but it just feels like it'd be the same with eating, because your body has to digest the food and do other things and move it around the body. So
and that's so taxing on the body, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're not well informed about how taxing that is for the body.
Yeah.
Right, the digestive process. So the less you put that on your body, the more time it has to heal and repair. Awesome.
All right, let's move on. We've got two more quick topics. We'll power through them. Rap School, Roger and Pace School. This is going to be the listener question. So, hey fellas, my name is Josh. I'm 26 from London. My question is related to public displays of affection.
Oh.
I've been dating this girl for a few weeks now, and she's super hands-on in public, wanting to make out, rubbing my shoulders, sitting on my lap, and just and just last week we went to the pictures. I think he means the movies. And she wanted to hold my hand. Yeah, it's an old school term. Classic gentleman here we have here. Wanted to hold my
coffee
hand.
dates for him, mate.
Wanted to hold my hand the entire time in the movies. Wow. Yeah, that's a bit much. Yeah. She's 4 years younger than me, so she's 22. But still,
a puppy. Little kitten.
I really like her. I don't know.
Just jokes.
I'm going to cut his audio off. I really like her, and I don't want to upset her. So I go along with it. But I hate people who make out in public and are overly affectionate in public. In the movie, I just want to watch the movie and not hold hands and be distracted. Do you think this is just a honeymoon phase? How long will it be going out for? A few weeks. So yeah, do you believe this is just a honeymoon phase that will pass? Should I say something? Starting to get uncomfortable, as I am not like that. Let's get a super quick response from you, Jay. What do you think, Josh?
I'm not a big fan of public displays of affection. I don't feel too comfortable about it. I'm all about being affectionate, but let's do it in a private place. I don't feel like everyone else needs to see us being all affectionate together, and I just get a little bit self-conscious about it, and therefore I'm not going to be myself anyway. And
what do you think he should do?
I don't think he needs to leave her, but I think, again, we've mentioned communication in the podcast earlier.
Yeah, so he's saying, should I wait till should I think it's going to pass? Maybe it won't, or should I say something?
I mean, he runs a risk of what if it doesn't pass, and then he's left it too long.
Yeah.
And then, maybe it might pass, but like he's already setting up a situation he's already setting up the relationship so that he doesn't communicate and speak his mind. And I think the earlier you do that, the better. The earlier you start to feel comfortable to express some things, he has to navigate that and let her know in a nice way, I guess.
So you think he should say something?
I think he should say
something.
Right.
Jay says, say something, Josh.
Yeah, what's your opinion? Just let it slide?
I say let it slide for another few weeks. So probably by the time you hear this, it will be that time. But I reckon if it's a few weeks, it's possible that, look, she's 22 years old. I've had this before where a girl just wanted to, make out in movies and stuff like that. And I was like,
Yeah,
like
okay.
I'm
and look, you appreciate it. No, I'd
like,
rather have someone be totally into you than bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would ride it out for a few more weeks. Maybe, if that's still happening after a couple of months and you're not comfortable, because again, like I'm not a big fan of public displays of affection. However, I don't care. Like if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you've been going out for longer than a few months, I think it's time to ease that back. Holding hands in the cinemas, I think, that's borderline crazy.
That might be a bit too much. You just want to enjoy.
That's a bit much.
I mean, look, I've done that.
No, I've done that as well. That's silly. I take that back.
It's not that bad,
It's not that bad. If it's in the first few weeks of dating and she wants to hold your hand in the movie,
it's very sweet.
That's completely fine. So don't worry about that. I completely take what I said back because I've actually done that as well. But if you're still doing that after a few months, I don't know.
Look, it's a tough one, because it's very sweet. And like we just said, I'd rather have a girl who's affectionate. And I really love that. And at no times, even if I'm uncomfortable by it, at no times do I hate it. And feel like,
it's a good problem to have. It's a good thing.
So like, it's more so like, oh, wow, I love that she's so affectionate. But I get a little bit, I don't want to do too much in front of too many people. And I know we shouldn't care what people think, but still, I don't think. There's things, it's nice to just keep it private, you know?
Jay says talk about it. Talk about it. I say give it a few more weeks because that's a pretty hefty topic, I guess. You don't want to insult her and ruin it, especially as you say you like her. Yeah. So give it a few more weeks and then, maybe she's going to eventually tune into your body language if you're not really into it. And if you just, ease back with the public kissing and stuff like that, I think you'll be fine and the rest you can probably deal with.
Yeah.
All right. Boom moments. Last thing. So this is going to be mindset, positivity, anything like that, something inspiring.
Yeah, we're big on all that. So
Jay, you go first.
Add that to this podcast, yes.
And I'll wrap it up.
All right. My one's from Jean-Claude Biven, I believe. Jean-Claude.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. No, Jean-Claude Biven, or Biven, I think he mentioned in his YouTube video. But he's all about, I've been watching a few of his videos. He's a well-known watchmaker, and he talks about staying curious. And I'm just going to, so I don't disable what he said. I just want to
disable what he said.
Yeah, I don't want to smash it and say it wrongly. But
don't smash it. Don't
smash it. Like that's what Roger does on Friday nights when he receives. What?
Wow.
It's jokes. Jay. I mean, I don't care. We're not coming back.
Well, I'm not coming back. Let's go.
Come on, Gervais is just bleeding into this thing.
Get it out. Jesus Christ.
Alrighty. Curiosity. Curiosity brings you maybe to your passion. That's how he said it. Maybe to your passion. He believes we must try to incorporate our passion into our work, if we know what our passion is, obviously, or work within our passion. If you know what your passion is, then try and find work within it or incorporate that passion into the work you're already doing, if that's possible. But obviously thinking, I don't even know what my passion is. How can I find out what my passion is? So he says to ask questions and try to find the answers to these questions in life. Like, so when you're going about your day-to-day life, ask questions, be curious. Like, why is it that color? Why is that flower like that? And that flower is exactly the same, but that color. Go in, research it. You might find that, you're coming across all this biological terms and stuff, and it might spark a passion that you have or an interest you might have that makes you dig deeper, and you might stumble across your passion. So he says that this search can take you down a rabbit hole that leads to a hidden passion you may have that you were not aware of. If you are not curious, if you remain passive, you will never find your passion. He states that some people, like Mozart, are born with a very obvious skill and passion, but for most of us, we're not. We're not born that way. We have to dig for it and search for it. But both, I know you're passionate about this too, Roger.
Yes.
I definitely am passionate about us living full lives and not just having jobs, but having lives that and having careers that we're passionate about, that we wake up excited to go to, because work takes up a large chunk of your life, and if it sucks, then a large chunk of your life is going to suck. So let's try and make that part of our life something we love and enjoy. So stay curious, people. It might take you to your passion and therefore change your life, make it better. Also, just want to quickly say, I know we have busy lives. And we get stuck in our routines and we get into autopilot, and it's hard, we get switched off. It's hard to stay curious, but, we just have to be aware of it, and be intentional. It's not going to be easy to stay curious. We have to work at it. We have to put in an effort, an intentional effort to stay curious. So write it on your wall. I don't know, whatever helps to make you remember that. What have you got, Raj?
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
All right.
Nice.
My moment is there's this great guy. He's an investor.
Is he great?
He's
Awesome.
He's fantastic, man. And all seriousness, he was on Joe Rogan as well, and I've started listening to that again. His name is Naval Ravikant. I believe he's an investor, but just a very wise man, especially
send me that podcast.
It's a great podcast. He said, read. So, like, I think you're the same as me. I want to read a lot more. Mm-hmm. I know it's important. I find it difficult to do. And
audiobooks help.
Audiobooks help, but it's kind of half cheating. And he even talks about that.
Yeah, pros and cons.
You
can't write notes if you're driving and you're
exactly right. And it's
miss
harder
things.
to go back. Mm-hmm. He said, read what you love until you love to read. And that really made sense. And he was saying, even if it's junk food books, junk food in inverted commas. So it could be like trashy, what's that 50 Shades of Grey? I guess that would definitely be classed as a junk food book.
Twilight?
But
Is Twilight in that category?
Twilight? Yeah, they were books, weren't they?
Yeah.
Read what you love until you love to read. And that makes perfect sense. So just start with whatever is going to be enjoyable for you until you develop that passion for reading. And then you can move on into things and you get that habit and you become an avid reader. And he also said that I don't know any smart person who doesn't read all the time.
Yeah.
And I've heard that, not just from him, from gazillion people.
Yeah.
It's like all the great minds and the great people in the world, all of them, most of them are avid readers. And, I think it's really important to read more, especially nowadays where our attention spans are so short because we're constantly on our iPhones and, we can't go to the bathroom or sit at a train station or a bus stop without getting on our phones because we need that freaking attention hit, Got to get something to...
it's a form of meditation reading now.
Yeah, it has to be. It's hard to sit down and concentrate on something for more than 5 minutes at a time. That's not a game or anything like that. And you've got to feed your brain as well as your body.
Yeah, and stay off from the distractions and stay on the book.
And focus. So it's going to help your attention, practices and stuff like that as well. And obviously you're going to become more intelligent. Boom!
And learn.
All right. Jesus Christ, that was an hour 25. Man, that's like our longest. I said this is going to be the shortest. Let's wrap this.
No, I think we've done 98 minutes, but we're getting there. And I didn't think we were going to go this long. So much to talk about. We didn't even talk about everything.
No.
We'll have to bring it into episode 5.
All right. Cool.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. If you're still watching and listening, we thank you for that.
Where do they find us, Jay? If you have a question for a listener question, hit us up on Roger and Pace, A&D, P-A-C-E, Jesus Christ, R-O-G-E-R, no D. Man, I've completely butchered that. rogerandpace@gmail.com. Shoot us your emails. We're on YouTube, Roger and Pace. Just search for that on YouTube. Instagram, Roger and Pace as well.
Roger and Pace,
At Roger and Pace.
And my Instagram is at Mr. John Paul Pace, M-R, John Paul Pace.
And I am RBJS on
Nice
Instagram.
and easy. But please, if you enjoyed the episode, give us a rating. Share the episode, give us a like. Yes, just share the love, get it out there to friends and family. And if you have any comments, any reviews also that you just might want to send to us privately, email us. You want to bring up any questions, if you want us to bring up a question, right?
Yes, please.
Audience question that we bring up in every episode, a dating question. Does it have to be a dating question?
No, I'll take whatever.
Yeah. He'll take whatever, especially if it's Friday night. He likes to receive. So just send him his way.
All right, let's get out of here. Jesus Christ, I'm out.
All righty. Roger and Pace.